Welcome to a new edition of Tom Donahue Reports. That just broke as well. Leaked FBI document reveals Jeffrey Epstein's secret history as an FBI informant. Well, that kind of gives us a little bit of reasoning why Acosta, who was the labor secretary under Trump, that didn't last very long because of the sweetheart deal that he gave to Epstein originally, because he was the federal prosecutor at the time, the U.S. attorney. But not only that, but we now know that the mansion, I should say mansions, were equipped with video cameras in all the rooms. And so here you are, you're an informant, but you also have all this video evidence that could blackmail people. Got it? Yeah. Here's an article from the New York Post stating Epstein's New York City den of depravity, hidden cameras, a first edition of Lolita, and a curious $1 bill signed by Bill Gates. And I just mentioned this moments ago, but it says here, Epstein remained a Mar-a-Lago member long after the indictment on sex crimes. Now, I've talked about the man who sounds like he gargles with razor blades or gravel, and he is gravelly, a crusty curmudgeon, okay? Mark Levin, he scolds those obsessed with Epstein case for distracting from the Obama-Clinton conspiracy. Well, you can have two conspiracies. You can have two cover-ups. You can have two scandals. This is distracting from what was already there. Trump had almost a decade to do something about the Obama-Clinton alleged conspiracy and Russiagate and the Russia hoax and the Steele dossier and all that. Okay? Curious timing, right? So the House committee issues subpoenas for Epstein's files, depositions with the Clintons, and other officials. Now remember, Bondi had more than 1,000 FBI agents flag any mention of Trump, and the redactions have happened. Now this is not directly related to this, but to some extent, yes, it kind of is, because radio legend Michael Savage drops a scathing list of 7 ways Trump has alienated his base voters, which does include this as in Epstein. So when you have Michael Savage, Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, and a whole host of others, Megyn Kelly, that are bringing out the carving knives because Trump has gone too far, that there's a line in the sand, and his savaging attacks, Tyrant Trump, on the MAGA base is completely unfair, unwarranted, and unhinged. But there's so much circumstantial evidence of Trump's enabling of Epstein. And, I forgot to mention, in that den of depravity, there's all these paintings that are on exhibit throughout that show very young girls, scantily clad. But the artwork has to do with very, very young girls depicted. Now, if Trump was there at any time, he would have seen that. He said that he liked them young, and he just shrugged it off. It'd be one thing if you were a casual contact, not a friend. Now, if you were a mere acquaintance and you knew little or nothing, and you, through those social circles, you had some brief interactions, that's different. But to be on the phone all the time, to have personal contact, to be dancing and going to socials and having him as a member of your club, and there was so much scuttlebutt. There was beyond whispers of what this guy was up to, and Trump chose to ignore all those storm clouds, all the warnings. But again, more and more information is coming out about how the things that Trump has said about underage girls himself, some of the beauty contests that he was involved with and backstage. Remember, grab him and he's been convicted of sexual assault. He's been accused of many times by many women of unwarranted sexual contact. Some have even said rape, but he's not been convicted of that. But the creepy comments about his daughter Ivanka, and there's video, television shows and various media appearances where he has made these very creepy comments. And he has said in his own words, and you can hear him, he says, Epstein was a terrific guy. Yeah, his pal, terrific guy. But where's the client list? Where are all the files? Where's the raw video footage of the so-called alleged suicide? And remember, his brother, as a reminder here, did state that he had Baden, forensic expert who's done many, many high-profile autopsies, that said all the physical evidence of examining the body points to homicide, not a suicide. If you notice, Bongino is silent now. Patel is silent. Bondi is the master cover-up artist. But if Bongino would come forward and tell us what he knows and come back to talk radio, or at least his podcast and media appearances, he could regain a modicum of respect. But anyone that does not speak up about what they know, they are complicit. And you say, well, they're protecting Trump. Wait a minute, he's not a king or a god. He doesn't need protection. He's got all the protection he needs in the power position he's in. We need the truth, and we need his explanations, and he needs to be frank and forthcoming about this long-term, close relationship with Epstein. But Trump thought he was going to just dodge and divert, and it's not working. You can try to do anything and everything to distract us from the Epstein files. This scandal is not going away. We will not let it die. Okay? So you can bring up anything about Clinton and Obama and Biden and hoaxes, and he said this was a hoax. He said this was manufactured by the Democrats. Really? I mean, Bill Clinton wants all this dirt on him? I mean, when you watch the documentary, you see Clinton on that plane. You see Clinton on the island. It's indisputable. I mean, that just doesn't hold water. That the Clintons would be involved in wanting to bring down Trump through Epstein and the Epstein files that are a hoax, when it's going to absolutely, completely eviscerate and tarnish whatever is left of the Clintons' reputation. You've got to watch those documentaries on Netflix. It's worth your time. Share with others. I am going to persist in my furthering of the information and the investigations with the briefings, with these reports, and we will prevail. Justice will be served, and the truth will set us free. And Trump needs to learn that lesson. And if it's a hard lesson, so be it, Tyrant Trump. Yeah, but what about his policies? Yeah, what about those policies? They're not looking all that America first these days, if you really take the totality of his actions. No, it's all about Trump policies, not America first policies. It's about serving Trump and what Trump can gain and what vengeance and retaliation that Trump can exercise. That's what this is all about. Anyway, let me take a breather. You guys can continue your research as well. Share the information that I've provided. Till we meet again, I'm Tom Donahue for Tom Donahue Reports. Have a great day.